Hi everyone, Sharon here. I have got the easiest scrap buster project for you today. Headbands, knit headbands. You can sew one of these in 7 minutes or less. Super easy. I like to use them when I work out. Some of you may already know this, but last year, before I had my surgery, I used to teach 3 fitness classes a week and attend a boxing class once a week. I used to teach Zumba, Zumba Gold, Zumba Toning, and Pound Fitness. Well, obviously the surgery took care of that. I'm no longer okay to do high impact sports. So bye-bye boxing. I won't be able to do that any longer. Whether I was a teacher or a student, I loved my headbands. So for 7 years, I was sewing these headbands, workout headbands, because I sweat when I work out. And then I started sewing them and giving them away as gifts to my students in my classes. It would just make my heart so happy when I would come to class and my students would be wearing my headbands. Yay! So I'm going to show you how to make one. Again, 7 minutes or less is all you're going to need to put together your own headband. This is a great scrap buster project also because all you need is a piece of knit that is 6 inches by 19 inches. And make sure it's got stretch the lengthwise. I have found my favorite fabric to use is swimsuit fabric. That's because it doesn't slip off of my hair and it dries really quickly. However, I've used lots of other fabrics too. I've used cotton knits, I've used ITY knits, I've used rayon blend knits. So you use whatever you have on hand and see what works. You may also find that you may need to adjust the length of this depending on your personal head size. You might need a little bit smaller, you might need a little bit bigger, but what I found is 19 inches seems to work for most everyone.
You can wear the headband narrow or wide. By the way, this young lady sewed her headband all by herself. Let's begin. Gather your supplies: a scrap piece of knit fabric, thread, a ruler or measuring tape, scissors or rotary cutter. Be sure if you use a rotary cutter to also use a self-healing mat. Of course, you will need your sewing machine. If you do not have one, you can stitch this by hand also. Cut your knit piece of fabric to 6 inches by 19 inches. My ruler is 6 inches wide, so I'm simply lining up the edge, making sure it's even to the 19 inches. And using my rotary cutter, I'm just making a nice clean cut. Turn your piece of fabric over so the wrong side is facing up. Then you're going to fold it in half lengthwise, wrong sides together, and you're going to use a pin to mark the center. Take each long edge and fold it in so that it meets in the center where you marked it with a pin. Add pins to hold it in place at the end. Go to your sewing machine and using a long stitch, baste those short edges in place 3/8 inch from the edge. Your headband will now have both short edges basted in place like this. Turn your headband over so those raw edges are on the bottom, and then fold your headband in half, matching the small edges. Go ahead and pin if you'd like to. Go to your sewing machine and go ahead and stitch those two short edges together. Use a basting stitch and go right over the stitches that you already stitched before. Place your headband on your cutting surface, and now you're going to fold it in half so that that short edge is now half the width that it was. Go ahead and pin it in place. Set your machine to a small zigzag stitch, and you're going to stitch all of those layers together. This is the very last stitch you need to finish your headband. Don't forget to backstitch. If you want to, trim off the excess of that seam. You don't have to, but this will help take away some of the bulk at the very back of the headband. Now simply just turn this out, and you will see there is your finished headband. Now this step is optional, but I like to add a label to the very back of the headband, especially when I'm giving them away as gifts. I have some labels I ordered from Dutch Label Shop. You can see they say you are enough, you are beautiful, and you are worthy. I just like the positive message. If you are adding a label, just bring it to your sewing machine and stitch a straight stitch along each short edge of the label. By not stitching it on all 4 edges of the label, it just leaves a little bit of flexibility for that stretch fabric. And I'm giving a shout out to my girlfriend's daughter. She made the headband all by herself just by using the photos that I had sent to her. I had not yet had a chance to create a blog post, but I took photos step by step and she was able to complete it. So proud of her creativity.
I really hope you found that tutorial helpful. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and please subscribe so you don't miss future videos. And I would love to see the headbands that you've made. Send me a picture via my Instagram account or my Facebook account. You can find those links below. Thanks for watching and happy sewing.